Hi folks, we're looking at sequences for our starters today. So we're going to find the next three numbers in each sequence, and we're going to find out the rule first because that helps us find the next numbers. So first sequence, we're going up, aren't we, each time? We're going up by the same amount each time because we're adding 8 and adding 8 and adding 8. So if we add 8 onto 25, we get 33. Add 8 is 41, and add 8 is 49. So if I'm going through these a bit quick, remember you can just pause the video until you've thought of the answers. Okay, the next one. We are going up, but we've gone up by 1, and by 2, and by 4, and by 8. So that's not a simple adding sequence, is it? So we'll get rid of that. So since we're going up, maybe we're multiplying. So let's see. 1 times what is 2? Well, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. And 64 times 2 is 128. Right, the next one. We're going down this time, and let's see what we're going down by. So we're going from negative 0.7 to negative 0.9, so we've gone down by 0.2. Let's see if that's happened again. So negative 0.9, to negative 1.1. Again, we've gone down by 0.2, and again, we go down by 0.2 to get to negative 1.3. So we're going to keep going down by 0.2, or subtracting 0.2, so that gives us negative 1.5, negative 1.7, and negative 1.9. Okay, our next sequence looks like the numbers are increasing, but let's see. We've added, nothing here. Added 1, gone up by 1 again, 2 this time, then up by 3. So that's not a normal adding sequence either, is it? And do you recognise this sequence? This is one that we've looked at before. It's called a Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so remember the rule for a Fibonacci sequence is that these two numbers add to give that one, these two to give that one, these two add to give that one, these two add to give that one, and these two add to give that one. So 5 add 8 is 13. Then 8 add 13 is 21. Then 13 add 21 is 34. Okay, and our last sequence. I'm hoping that you'll recognise these as special numbers. They are going up, but they're not going up by the same amount each time. And what I would love you to recognise is that these are square numbers. So we've got 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and 5 squared. So this will be 6 squared, that will be 7 squared, and that will be 8 squared. So 6 squared means 6 times 6, that's 36. 7 times 7 is 49, and 8 times 8 is 64. Okay, so well done. We're now going to go on to looking at what we're thinking about today. So we're looking at money still, currencies and exchange rates. So carrying on from what we did yesterday. Yesterday we were looking at which country uses which currency. Today what we're going to do is look at changing sterling. So remember, that's what we call our currency, pounds, to other currencies using exchange rates. So here we've got a little note that says to change an amount of pounds into another currency, you need to know the exchange rate. So the exchange rate tells you how much foreign currency you get for £1. Okay, now I looked these up yesterday. Currency exchange rates change a little bit from day to day. So that's why I've pointed out that this is yesterday's rates. So they might be slightly different today. So what we've got here is that this table explains how much foreign currency £1 will exchange for. So these numbers here tell you how much of each currency you will get for £1. Okay, so it's very rare that you would actually want £1 worth of a foreign currency. You might want money for spending on a holiday. You might be wanting to give somebody a birthday present. If they were going on holiday somewhere, you might, for example, if they were going on holiday to America, you might want to change £10 into dollars or something like that. So if you know how much you'll get for £1, then you're just going to need to multiply that by the amount of pounds you want. Okay, so we'll see how this works in our first question. So we're travelling to France. You would like to exchange £200. Which currency will you need and how much of it will you get? Okay, so the currency that we need for France, remember, is euros. Okay, and we take the exchange rate and we multiply it by the number of pounds, because remember, this number tells you how much of the foreign currency you'll get, or how many euros you'll get for £1. And here's where we're looking at in the table, remember? I'll just circle that, euros. So 1.1423 times, we want £200 worth. So we're just going to work that. We can use a calculator for foreign currency, that's absolutely fine. So 1.1423 times 200 gives us 228.46, and that's the sign for euros. Okay, so if we change our £200 into euros, that's how much it's worth. Okay, next one. Al is planning a trip to South Africa and wishes to exchange £150. Which currency should he buy and how much of it will he get? Okay, so remember what we looked at yesterday? In South Africa, their currency is called the rand, so they use rands. So here are the rands. Okay, so this is the exchange rate we need. So we take our exchange rate, 22.644, and we multiply that by 150. And we get 3396.6 rands, or rand. Okay. Then we've got a slightly more complicated question. Sasha is embarking on a multi-destination holiday. She has £600 spending money she set aside. And she's visiting Germany, Switzerland, India and Japan. She wishes to share her spending money equally between the 4 countries. How much of each currency will she buy? So if she's got £600 altogether and she wants to spend it equally between 4 countries, we're going to have to work out 600 divided by 4. So she's got £150 to spend in each country. Okay, so the first one then is, first country is Germany. Okay, in Germany they use the euros. So it's here, and it's this exchange rate. So we need to do 1.1423 times 150. And we get 171.345. Now remember, euros use cents like pounds use pence, so we only want 2 decimal places because there's 100 cents in a pound. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our euro sign, and we're going to think about rounding this number to 2 decimal places. So that means we'd cut off after the 4, and the 5 tells us to move the 4 up 1. So the amount that we'd get is 171.35. Okay, so the next place is Switzerland, and in Switzerland they use Swiss francs. So our exchange rate is 1.2023. Multiplying that by £150. So, we get 180.345. And we round it just like we did in the last one. So I'm going to put SF for Swiss francs, 180.35. Okay. Then the next place is India. So can you remember what currency they use in India? It's rupees. So if we find rupees here, there's the exchange rate, 93.608, which we're going to multiply by 150 to give us 14041.2 rupees. And then our last place is Japan. So in Japan, remember what they use? It's yen. And there's the exchange rate. We need to multiply that by 150 because remember the exchange rate tells you how many you get for £1. So 132.55 times 150 is a big number. It's 19882.5 yen. Okay, so that's all the examples that we're going to do today. I've got some practice questions for you to do that are very similar to these. They're using the same exchange rates. So if you can do those and give me a shout if there's anything that you're not sure about. Okay, well done. Remember, you've got an assignment that's due in today as well. I'm hoping that most of you will have done that by now. But if you haven't, find time later on today, please. And if you can submit that, that would be fab. Okay, see you tomorrow.